appreciate you being here. Secondly, Matthew was being honored tonight. I never had the honor of meeting him. I wish he was here tonight because one thing that's on my bucket list is skating. I've never been on ice skates my entire life, and I was going to disappoint from him to see that. So please let him know that we need to meet. And then Riverfront, REO Speedway. I'm 61, and I just recently stopped lying about that. But when I was growing up in Peoria, there was a team disco called the Second Chance. I've heard of it. I used to go there on a Sunday night, and it was KZ93 night, if you remember that station back in the day. And I won some contest, I don't know what it was, but they gave me an album, and it was an REO Speedway album, and I'll never forget the name of it. It was, you can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish. Am I right? So, I'm a soul brother. I listened to this album a lot, and I liked it. And I'll tell you how much I liked it. Heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from another. You've been messing around. I wish I had the honor of meeting him, but I know him from back in the day. A lot of people don't know I'm not from Peoria. I was born in Chicago, and we moved to Peoria when I was 5 years old. My dad was one of Bradley's first black players. One of his teammates is here tonight, Joe Billy McDade. Good to see you, man. They won a national championship together in 1957, and he came by my basketball camp this past summer. He walked up to me and he said, I'm sorry for not being in your life more. So that really got to me, and we keep in touch, and I'm in his life, and he is in mine. So thank you, Joe Bill. When we came to Peoria, I was just 5 years old, and my dad was head of security at Bradley. He graduated in 58, and they called him back in 1970 to be head of security. So in the summer, he would take me to work with him. I was just 5 or 6 years old, and I spent all day at Bradley's campus, and I hung out with the basketball players. And Joe Stoll took me under his wing, and he just passed away, I think maybe 10 days ago or so. And I don't know if you've seen the exhibit, but there's a trophy. I'm glad that Kurt Wessler decided to grab that trophy from my storage in East Peoria, because it was the first award I ever received from Joe Stoll from his basketball team. I was MVP of his camp 1976. But I love Bradley. I love Bradley basketball. And I was a ball boy for many years. I wanted to be a Bradley basketball player. But when I was coming out of high school, they had a dude named Jimmy Les. And at that time, less was more. But I got better. But I enjoyed growing up in Peoria. My father loved this town so much. And growing up, I used to get in a lot of trouble. What you see right here is a lot of hard work, a lot of believing in yourself, and never giving up. Because I wasn't a high school star. People that know me knows that I only started 3 times. But I never gave up. I worked my butt off. And ended up doing good in junior college, Spoon River. I got to give them a shout out. They were the launching pad. Thank you. Yes, they were. People look at junior college as eating humble pie, so to speak. But no, it was the launching pad for Curley. They gave me an opportunity to express my skills. I went on to Loras College in Dubuque, Iowa, where I'm a proud graduate. And then they allowed me to play my style of play because my style of play was actually reminiscent of the Harlem Globetrotters when I was a kid. That's why I was getting in trouble. I kind of, got away from that. I was doing so many things that my coach would just shake his head and sit me on the butt. But it's something that's always been inside of me. And then I ended up playing for the Globetrotters that paid me to do all the things that they did not want me to do. But when I made the team, it was kind of coming full circle because of the fact my dad passed away when I was 19. He saw my great year that I had at Spooner, and then he passed away in the spring of '84. And he didn't get to see me make the Globetrotters just 4 years later. But they came to watch me play when I was at Loris, unbeknownst to me. The president of the Globetrotters, Joanne Zavino, came out to watch me my junior year, unbeknownst to me. Came back my senior year, unbeknownst to me. And then when we lost in the playoffs, my senior year, my athletic director called me and said, "Boo, what's your plan now? What you gonna do?" I said, "Well, I'm gonna get my marketing degree in a couple of weeks. I'm gonna conquer the business world, be a businessman, go to Chicago, let's conquer it." He said, "Do you ever think about playing overseas?" I said, "No, my dad just passed away a couple of years ago. I want to stay close to my family." He said, "Did you ever think about playing for the Harlem Globetrotters?" I said, "Yeah, as a kid, it was one of my dreams." He said, "Well, they've been here twice to see you play." I was like, "You bullshit." Sorry about that. I tend to speak freely at this old age of mine. He said, "They've been here to see you, and they want to offer you a tryout." I said, "I'll give it a go." Graduated and trained like I never did before to make the Harlem Globetrotters. And when I went out there, I wasn't afraid of nobody. I said, "I'm going to make this team. No matter who you bring to camp," I told the general manager, "I'm going to make this team." And I went out to LA, competed against 50 players, and I made the Harlem Globetrotters. And I wanted to stay as long as I could. My goal initially was to play for 10 years, and I ended up playing for 18. I stayed as long as I could, trust me, and I loved it. But they made a mistake, and I fixed their ass. That's what happened. I was in about my 14th year with the team, and we're in training camp, and they gave me a questionnaire to fill out. And I'm like, "Why I gotta fill this out? You know everything about it. Come on. I've been here 14 years. Captain of the team, dribbler, ball handler, you know everything." They're like, "You gotta fill it out." So I filled out the questionnaire, and on the questionnaire had birthday. Now, mind you, I was born in February 10, 1965. So I said, "Okay, I'm fix their ass." I put February 10, 1966. Next year they gave me that same questionnaire. Next year I put 1967. Next year I put 1968. So I stayed 37 years of age for 3 years and they didn't know it. The reason I did that is because there's a thing that people say that Father Time is undefeated. I knew I was going to do it. And I was trying to hang on to something that I truly loved. And I lied. And it caught up to me. When they told me it was over, it hurt. It did. So I had to bow out gracefully. And I said, "Okay, City of Peoria has always been so gracious to me. The things that they have bestowed upon me, I love my time. I got to give back somehow. The best way I knew was to go and speak at schools, because I think I got the record for the most District 150 schools attended. That's when I wore this time. Every time my dad got a raise, we moved. So I went to Woodrow Wilson, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, Thomas Jefferson, 4th, and part of 5th. Then I went to Whittier. Then I went to Curley, graduated from Curley, my former classmate. And then I went to Richwoods High School, freshman, sophomore year. And then I transferred over to Central and graduated. So that's about 6 District 150 schools. So I'm a product of District 150. So what you see right here, that is right on there. So I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I'm so grateful for this town. I'm grateful for what you guys have done for me tonight. The curator, man, you're outstanding. You had so many things to choose from. I know Kirk Westwood gave you so much, but what you chose, it all has a story. That money, I had a hard time getting it here in that treasure chest. The TSA gave me the blues trying to get it here. They dumped everything out. They said, "Where'd you get this from?" And I said, "I played for the Globetrotters." I said, "Yeah, right." I said, "Curley Johnson, who the hell is that?" "You mean Curley Neal?" I'm like, "No, I'm Curley with Rogaine." They dumped everything out. And I said, "Look, here's my ID." He said, "You played with the Globetrotters?" I said, "Yes, I did." They put all my stuff back in there. I said, "Go right ahead, Mr. Johnson. You're okay to have this treasure chest of money." But I can tell you so many stories. I'm grateful for everyone that came tonight. Kirk Westler, thank you for helping choose me. John Morris, man, you're my man, John. What you're doing here is amazing. If you guys have time to come here and see what they got going on, I'm telling you, if you love history like I do, you gotta come here and check this out. This is the bomb right here, you know? Oh my God, I don't want to leave anybody out, but I love you all. Thank you for being here. God bless you. And I'm not going to stop doing what I do, and that's trying to make people happy. When I was with the Globetrotters, I was an ambassador of goodwill. I'm not with them anymore, but I'm still an ambassador of goodwill. I'm trying to do what I can, when I can, as much as I can. Love you all. Thank you.